Well, Jennifer, Nejat, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Excellent. So, as you know, we've been featuring a lot of just law firm leaders over the last couple of months, talking about the things that they've been doing, how they've been proactive in their communities and their teams, and so on. But if you could share, like, over the last couple of months, when COVID hit, how did you guys respond, and as a result, what kind of impact has that made so far in the firm?
I'll start out and then I'll pass it to Nejat for what I missed. But so we're insurance lawyers. We've spent the vast majority of our 17 plus year careers individually practicing insurance law exclusively. So we, from the very beginning, started watching the business income kind of litigation develop we have read almost every single petition on file, starting with that very first one in New Orleans. And we started, really investigating what our practice could look like if we pivoted a little bit from our normal insurance docket and really took a dive into the business interruption claim realm. And so we were thinking about it probably before most lawyers that are in the arena now were thinking about it and trying to figure out a way that makes sense for a smaller firm that's still very much in the startup phase. But I think we were able to really make a good plan forward and make good connections with resources so that we could take in and still treat our clients well, take in as many claims as we could that we believe in that are good claims and still treat our clients well, which is always our goal.
I agree, Jen. I think that it's been an interesting time for us. We thought things were going to slow down a little bit, but with this newfound opportunity, I guess Jen and I have had very little downtime, really. And the first thing we thought about when this came on board was you guys, because you had been a partner to us previously. We have a campaign going with you guys, and the first thing we thought about was reaching out to Chris and how can we use this opportunity and get out there and market, and especially because people are home now, are on their phones, or on the internet and all of that. So we thought, hey, this is a good opportunity. Let's get out there, use CRISP, and market for these cases, and it's been phenomenal.
So let's go down that path. I am curious in terms of like a lot of the business interruption claims. So one, in terms of making that pivot, but two, just I imagine that COVID undoubtedly, I mean, when we talk about a business's ability, and many businesses around the nation, their ability to continue to generate, revenue in situations like these where there's lockdowns and quarantines and so on. But I also imagine that insurance companies by nature probably are going to fight this tooth and nail. So, from what has been your experience, and what should business owners who are watching this be aware of, in considering a business interruption claim?
Well, insurance, the thing about insurance is that it's there when things happen. So Jen and I are usually very busy when there's a hurricane or tornado or any catastrophic situation happens, is when our business picks up. And this is no different. And business owners at first were not aware of this coverage that's available to them. And we're being told by their agents that this is not an area of a situation that the insurance policy responds to. But we had to get the message out there. We had to get the message out there quickly that there's potential coverage and that we're the right people to help them recover under their policy. And Jen?
That's right. And I'll just follow up. Having practiced insurance law for as long as we have, we've kind of lived on both sides of the V. We started our practice working for the insurance companies. So we knew and we continue to know exactly how hard they're going to fight these claims, because this is novel. I mean, I see it and hear it every single day, every news report I read. Everything is novel about the coronavirus, and it's also novel in this arena for business interruption claims. We think we have some really good arguments with case law support to develop the arguments that we're going to have to make in favor of coverage for these business owners. But it is novel. And so we are bracing ourselves for the fight and for the long haul. And our goal always is to just try to put our clients back to the place they were before the loss that they sustained. And we look at these cases as no different than taking a commercial property claim that involves fire or hurricane or any other type of peril that people are used to dealing with on a daily basis. This is just a new peril, and we're going to do our best to get them back to that position they were before, knowing that it will be a fight. The insurance companies will not give up easily.
Now, there's been many firms across the nation, as I'm sure you have seen, that we're in one practice area, whether it was criminal defense, personal injury, what have you, and they are now in the business interruption claims arena. Now, you specialize in this, and you specialize in insurance law. So I guess both sides, from both the firm owner side and even from the consumer side, what should someone be aware of if, let's say, this is not an area where someone specializes in?
So I think we're definitely seeing that happening. We're seeing lawyers jump in the arena. You mentioned criminal ones, which raised my eyebrow the most, I think, in reading all the pleadings on file nationwide. But lawyers are going to jump in where they see opportunity. And in a small way, that's heartening to us because they're seeing what we already saw at the very, very beginning of this, which is there's potential here. There's potential here. We care a bit more, I think, just in our natures and our practice goal about actually making the client whole. We're not just looking to, rack up our client numbers and flip them to somebody else. We want to really help people be made whole. We want to be involved in fighting the fight for the policyholder, and not every lawyer does that. So I would interview closely. If I were a business owner, I would interview closely the lawyer to see what they actually know about insurance coverage and then what they plan to do with the case long term. I mean, of course, when you get, massive volume, you may need help with a bigger firm or you may need to joint venture on certain issues. That's always wise for the economy of a case. But generally speaking, I would want to know someone was on my team that actually knew how to read a policy and knew what the case law was before this all started.
And I think I just wanted to add, for us, this is a long-term game, not a game, but the long-term process for us. So we care about the arguments that are being made and the precedents that's being set, because that's the arena in which we're going to practice after all this is gone. So we're not looking to set precedents that's going to affect our clients in the future and hinder us when we're making arguments later on under the coverage, under the business interruption coverage piece.
Yeah, and if I may ask, and I'd say this just in the sense that you've been dealing with so many of these cases and in working with so many business owners, all across the state of Texas and beyond. What has been the general sentiment that you've been seeing? And I'm not looking for a political statement, but just from the standpoint of seeing the perspective from these business owners that are experiencing this, what do you believe is going to happen 6 months down the line, 9 months from now?
We are seeing response already from legislatures in different states responding to the massive amount of loss that business owners have sustained. And there's political pressure being put on these insurance companies to actually cover these claims. And I think, Jen, you could mention some of the states that I know you've looked at all of that. So
sure.
Some of the states that are doing something about it right now.
Yeah, so there's weekly the count is increasing. The bill I like to look at to kind of see what the model is that's developing nationwide is out of Pennsylvania. They're really taking a good step forward and in a measured way. I think it's drafted after legislation that was put in place in Oregon relating to environmental loss and insurance policies. So we already know it has a proven track record of working. But I do think that from a business owner's perspective, it's going to take a combination of political, pressure. It's going to take litigation pressure. It's going to take, all sides kind of aligning with pressure at the same time to get the insurance companies to the table. Because although there are very different issues in different policies, and every insurer has a different policy, and you have to really, scrub it down to see what type of exclusions you're dealing with, what type of coverages are there sublimits, are there not? Although those are issues that all come into play. It really is like almost its own universe of pressures happening at the same time to get insurance companies to take a second look at how they're valuing and analyzing these claims.
Yes, and so and the basically shift from the business interruption claims, just the practice as a whole and for the team as a whole over the last several months. What's been the biggest lesson that you guys have learned, just as business owners?
I think it's taken us out of our comfort zone in the sense that we're using social media a whole lot more. I think we should have done that before, but we're doing it now. I think both Jen and I are really good about taking risks and chances. And like I said, when we saw the opportunity, we dived right in, and it got you guys involved in getting our social media ad campaign out there. But also we did a video, Jen and I, we did a Zoom webinar deal that we've sent out to clients that people have responded really well to. And so, yeah, Jen, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, no, I think it's just adaptability. Almost every week when we have our team meeting, we're trying to be adaptable to the changing landscape of this particular litigation and our existing docket, because everything is changing with COVID, and our docket is changing so rapidly of cases because of business interruption. So I think every week we kind of have to give our team members a pep talk and ourselves a pep talk that we just have to stay light on our feet and we have to adapt. And this isn't what we thought this period of time would look like, but here we are, and it's litigation, and you just have to kind of roll with it. It's more of a blessing than a curse, that's for sure.
Yeah. How's your team responded?
They're great. They're really excellent. We're very blessed. We've kind of, as you know, we're a smaller firm and we're starting up, but we've really picked amazing team members that give us great support and are there when we need them. And some weeks it's a lot more than others, but I think we have a very good team mentality and team approach to getting everything done. Nejat and I are on emails back and forth late at night with everyone, so they know we're all invested as they're invested, and we're just ultimately the goal is to get the job done, to treat our clients well, to have clients that are happy that send us more business. Mm-hmm. Period.
And as we close out, as you know, our audience, most of the people that will be watching this are other lawyers, other law firm owners, and we're talking about a lot of these business interruption claims. And for someone whose business is, let's say the phone isn't ringing as much, they say, okay, this could be an opportunity. What would you say to them in the sense of just, hey, get up to speed on it and learn it before you do it? Or, we recommend that instead you just send that out to somebody who really does specialize in this.
Yeah, I would say definitely to consider if it feels outside your realm, if it feels outside your bailiwick, to find a firm that you trust, that has lawyers that know what they're doing in the business interruption arena, to joint venture with. We're seeing lots of folks approach us about joint ventures, and we're happy to do that. I think it's a way to work smarter and not harder. And it also is a way to pivot in your practice without giving up your existing, specific area of practice that you've invested in. So we're already here, we're in this space, we're happy to do that. Or I would definitely advise other lawyers, if they don't feel comfortable with insurance law, to find a good referral that they can send it to.
Absolutely. Reach out to us.
That's right. Well, excellent. Well, thank you both. I truly appreciate this. Where can people go to learn more?
So we have a website. It's www.lawtx.com. So that's LALawTX, like Texas.com. And we have a special page for coronavirus and business interruption on there. And you can also reach out to us by email or direct. We still take and field calls, so you can get us on the phone or by email any day.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again. This has been incredible.